Welcome to Around the Horn for FantasyAlarm.com. I'm your host, Ray Flowers. I think it's kind of hard. You can't really see. Do I look like I can? Yeah. Really don't. For those of you that didn't hear, by the way, I had a club last night in the city, comedy club, Cobb's. Adam Sandler came out at the end, sang a couple songs, 3 of them actually, his personal songs. Pretty cool. Wasn't expecting it. Big night, front row seats to an Adam Sandler concert without even trying. I did care about that. And I do care about what I'm about to say about the world of baseball, too. Start out with Max Scherzer. Big-time arm. The biggest arm, obviously, on the market. He and John Lester are the 2 big names that most people are looking at. Lester's got an offer of $115, $20 million, something like that on the table from the Red Sox. He's kind of playing that around and looking, trying to find a way to maybe get more money, more years out of someone. In the case of Scherzer, he's probably going to go the highest bidder. This is the chance for him to get that one last contract. He is 30 years old already, so he's not a young pitcher. Look at what he has done, and he's just been stupendous. 15 victories in 4 straight seasons. He's had 230 strikeouts in 3 straight seasons. He's had 174 or more strikeouts in 6 straight seasons. Who has done that? Kershaw, King Felix, Mr. Scherzer. So, small list. Scherzer can be looked at to throw 200 innings, have all those strikeouts, give you a chance to win all those games. The last couple years, his ERA is barely over 3. His whip is barely over 1. He's pitched really, really well. Where he ends up determines his overall value. If he goes to the National League, that could be something, not facing those DHs and getting a chance to face the pitchers. So, big name. We'll see how it goes. Upwards of $180, $200 million is what we're hearing that he would like to get. A couple of moves. We have the Rule 5 situation. Teams protecting players to avoid having them exposed to Rule 5. One of the moves made by the Pirates, and a lot of these names are smaller, younger names, but one of the moves made by the Pirates on Thursday was the fact that they designated for assignment Ike Davis. What does that mean? It means Ike Davis' tenure with the Pirates is done. Now, I'll say this, and I've said this. I saw Ike Davis back at Arizona Fall League when he first got signed years ago, and I watched him take a couple of bats, and I was like, this ain't happening. I mean, too much hand movement, the swing is too long. I can't see what all the excitement is about with Ike Davis. Now, I know he had the big 30-home run season, but for the most part, his tenure in the big leagues has been disappointing. Was disappointing last year. I'm not going to sit here and say it wasn't. He hit 233, jumped around between a couple of teams. But the good news, actually, go a little bit below here. The good news is the strikeout rate went down, the walk rate went up, and he had a 344 on-base percentage. And when your on-base percentage is literally 100 points or more above your batting average, you're doing something right. So Ike Davis is going to find a role with someone. He'll get an opportunity to play. A nice guy to potentially target in league-specific setups. I don't think he's, mixed league option like that. It's going to take injuries in order for him to get everyday playing time and to really excel. But he had some improvement last year, despite the fact it didn't really look like it. Now, Josh Harrison's going to take over at third base for the Pirates, which means Pedro Alvarez moves over to first base. Right move for the Pirates. Pedro Alvarez, brutal defender, at his absolute worst in 2014. What does Alvarez bring? Well, he brings a huge bat. 2 of the last 3 years, 30-plus home runs. Didn't get to 20 last year because of injury. His foot should be okay for the start of 2015. And, like Davis, a player who's flawed. Unlike Davis, he's not a guy that does a lot of walking, so we're looking at a guy who's, scraping the 310 on-base percentage mark, something like that over and over again. He's a 235 career hitter, doesn't bring a lot in the batting average category, never steals a base, but that power is legit. It's 30-90, 30-100 type of power. Inside baseball with him as well. You look at his approach last season, much improved. Much improved. The strikeouts actually went down for Pedro Alvarez, and that's a big key. If he can do that again, maybe that batting average could be 250 plus. 2 big names that are apparently on the market, and I'm not really sure why. I guess it has to do with contracts and all that. First name is Justin Upton. I've written about Justin Upton. I've talked about Justin Upton. He's got a spot on every one of my fantasy teams. Like the guy an awful lot. I think he's usually undervalued because people look at him and think superstar, and then they're disappointed when he doesn't get there. Why not look at him for what he is? And that is a player who's a 275, 25, 90, 80 type of guy. Yeah, year after year. Doesn't get hurt, plays healthy, all that kind of stuff. Braves are said to be interested in listening to moving him. We'll have to wait and see if that comes to fruition. The other big name is Jay Bruce. Now, Jay Bruce from 2011 to 2013 was about as consistent as any power hitter in baseball. In those 3 seasons, he had at least 30 home runs, 97 RBIs, 84 runs scored in all 3 years. Very, very good, very consistent, great track record. 27-year-old, what happened last year? Disaster. Didn't hit 220, the power was way down. What's his outlook heading forward? Well, I like Jay Bruce. I buy low. Last year, his ground ball rate went up about 6 percentage points, and he lost those percentage points off his fly ball rate. He was injured. His swing was messed up. He just couldn't lock it down. A return of the fly balls will probably allow him to hit the ball into the seats yet again. Wouldn't be at all surprised if Jay Bruce, hits 30-90 yet again. We'll see if people are expecting that come draft day in 2015. Alexi Ramirez, 15-20 last year. Alexi Ramirez is a very good fantasy performer. He's not a great real-world performer. That 270 batting average that he posts usually is accompanied by very few walks. His on-base percentage isn't impressive. His slugging percentage isn't impressive. But in the fantasy game, he's always there. He's a 15-15 threat every season. Very consistent in his counting number production because he's always on the field. Teams are looking to potentially add that. We're hearing the Dodgers maybe. We're also hearing that the White Sox want a very high package for Alexi Ramirez, so it remains to be seen what goes on there. He's got $10 million due him this year, and then he's got a club option for 2016 for another $10 million. So not overly expensive in the grand scheme of things when people are playing $30 million to players. Looking at you Marlins. And then finally, Joel Peralta traded to the Dodgers. Now people might say, who cares? And in the fantasy game, not a big move, but a very good pitcher. The last 4 seasons, the last 3 of which, by the way, Peralta's thrown at least 70 games. The last 4 years, a 3.1 ERA, a whip under 1, almost 9.5 strikeouts per 9 innings, and about a 3.5 strikeout to walk ratio. A very good reliever, very consistent, very solid, takes the ball. A good addition for the Dodgers bullpen, allowing them to lengthen that out and get some support in front of Mr. Kenley Jansen. There's always a chance Peralta picks up a couple saves too. He's done that pretty much every year, but he's more of a 7th, 8th inning guy. A good signing for the Dodgers, a decent arm to look at in NL leagues, but obviously not someone to pay attention to in mixed league setups. I got emails coming and I gotta go check them. I'm Ray Flowers. This has been Around the Horn for FantasyAlarm.com. Don't forget to come to the site, see everything you want, everything you need. If you don't see something you want or need, drop us a line. Take care.